The video for July 20th, 2017 is titled Hope for a Better World. Yesterday was a challenging day for me. It seems I was dealing with a lot of negative energies. Certainly my thoughts were testing to my faith. Among other things, I reviewed a very long report on the known ways our fake governments spy on all of us. I wouldn't mind if a truly loving, omniscient God was in charge. But it's quite another thing to realize that the dark forces in our world are able to record every keystroke we make on the computer and watch everything we do through our electronic equipment. Forget privacy. There's no such thing if we are hooked up to the grid in any way, TV, computer, and even many appliances. Don't we know that those who want to run the world for their own ends are malevolent? I do. The longer it takes to see positive change, the more challenging it is to even hope for a better world. Yes, it was a challenging day for me. If yesterday had been a day that I needed to record a video at this time that I'm recording right now, which is when I record most of my videos that I do alone, I wouldn't have been able to do it because for over an hour, and this is the second time that happened this week, during these early morning hours when I like to record my videos, I had no internet connection. Over an hour, 2 days in the same week. They're probably doing maintenance. I've called them and I don't get any definitive answers. They acknowledge that there was downtime, but they don't acknowledge a reason why there's downtime. And, you know, most of the time my internet connection is reliable, and that's a good thing. But when it is unreliable at a time that I need to record, it's a real challenge. And so my day started out bummed out because of the internet outage, and realizing, as I said, that if I had been wanting to record a video, say I was in the middle of recording a video and the outage went down. I mean, I was in the middle of sending birthday greetings, which I try to remember to do every day, to all of my Facebook friends that have birthdays on that given day. Right in the middle of that is when the outage went down. So I was halfway finished sending out birthday greetings and still had the other half to go. And I do that before I record my video most of the time. Anyway, folks, as I said, I had a challenging day, and it was hard to get my being into a positive frame after dealing with some of those issues in the early morning hours. Thankfully, I had recorded with Valentine the afternoon before, so the video was already done, and it wasn't holding me up in that regard. But I want so much, and I've wanted for so long. All of my life, I've wanted to see what I call the kingdom of heaven on earth. And I wasn't aware when I was younger how much the powers that seem to be in charge are malevolent. I didn't get it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the world that still don't get it. There's a lot of people waking up, but there's a lot of people that are still in the dark in regard to how the world runs. I mean, most people are still in a survival mode, and there shouldn't ever be a survival mode on a planet of plenty. But there's no distribution. There's no honest ability to uplift everyone else. I mean, there's an ability to do it, but there's not the will to do it, because the people that are in charge, the beings that are in charge, are malevolent. They do not will good for all of us. They will evil, which makes me, again, question, where is God? Is there a God? I'd like there to be a loving God. I'd like there to be a God who actually cares about creation. I'd like to know that I'm here for a higher purpose and that life has meaning other than just recycling life with a different identity, but it's the same energy, but you don't remember the energy before because of this reincarnation thing. I mean, lots of things, folks, lots of things don't add up, don't make sense to me. And so maintaining the positive mental attitude that some say is required in order to bring about the changes becomes exceedingly difficult for somebody that's wanting to tell the truth. And the truth, again, is not some ethereal world that exists somewhere else in some other reality, some other dimension. It's what's here right now that we have to deal with. That's what we have to deal with. Not something, not some dream world that we're not in yet. And this is the conundrum that I find myself in as I try to keep the vision and keep the hope alive, so that life has meaning and purpose, and that there's going to be a good end and not an insane end of just dying and not remembering when we come back. I'm assuming that reincarnation is the way it is. It would make even less sense if it wasn't that way. At least in reincarnation, we get to keep experiencing life if it's really life. But is it life? Or is it just death? Is it just an interlude between deaths and no purpose, no fulfillment of anything? It's insane. I struggle, and I'm struggling with this video. I really am. I mean, Valentine was uplifting to meet and talk with him. It was a very uplifting thing, but within, just by the next morning already, I'm in the doldrums. And it's been really, really, really hard for me. I have so much time on my hands to do things, and all I do is read reports, and many of the reports that I end up reading are not reports that report good news. There's people that are still hoping that Donald Trump makes positive changes, but frankly, I don't see that Donald Trump is capable of making the positive changes. He's still a materialist, not a spiritual person. And we need spiritual leadership, as I see it, that wants to bring a higher consciousness to humanity, one that manifests in our world, not one that's going to come when we die in the sweet by and by, but here now, something that's meaningful for us on earth at this time. And I don't care if we have impingement or influence of other dimensional realities, but we need to fix this reality, not die and go to a different reality. That's to me, that's a cop-out. And it keeps us hoping for some better tomorrow, some better future. And the present, we're ignoring. We need to pay attention to what's going on now, but somehow we need to be uplifted as we're paying attention by actually being filled with the Holy Spirit, if you will, so that we are empowered and enriched, and our minds are quickened, and our being is made more alive. I hope this makes sense to you, and those of you that it does make sense to, please share it. Thank you for listening, and namaste.